So we got to sail on our boat today for the very first time and check out our sail plan, which is what we're going to talk about in today's podcast. I'm so excited. Are you excited?
Yes. Very badass.
Hello, and welcome to Covert Castaway. I'm Holly.
Je suis Stéphane.
Join us as we share what we learned and how we're making the transition to liveaboard cruising.
So today was a lot of fun. It was a beautiful day. Before we get into the sail plan and what it was like being on our boat with the sails for the first time, let's give an update on where we are. We're in a brand new Airbnb. Another one.
Yeah, we keep... That was not planned.
No. It was
morning.
like suddenly you come in and you're like, we're moving. And I was like, what? So,
Yeah. Basically, for the past week, we were living in the dark.
In the dark.
Because there is an electric...
screen, I guess. I don't know. In Europe, they have these... I don't see them a lot. Maybe they have them in Florida or something. They're like the storm screens or whatever. And they kind of roll down with the motor, and they are meant to protect the windows, I suppose.
Well, it gets really dark. It's nice for sleeping and stuff.
It's literally pitch black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a week ago, a little bit over a week ago, as I would press the button to raise one, it just didn't raise. So we've been waiting each day.
To get it
different
fixed.
Story.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I think we've reached our limit of living in the dark.
Living in the dark, yeah.
So they say, how about we have an apartment upstairs? It's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's nice.
Same
It's
price
beautiful.
for you. So we're like, okay, we have 2 hours.
Yeah, so we spent a bunch of time moving all of our bags, and I didn't realize how much stuff we actually had, because you moved in before I got here. So I just showed up with my 3 bags or whatever, and I was packing and you were moving, and I was like, holy crap, like we probably need to get rid of some of this stuff. But you've been shopping all along and buying things for the boat and toolboxes and printers and what
Printers.
a printer, things like this, like they just appeared. So anyway, we're in a new Airbnb, and I mean brand new. I think we're the first ones even ever stay in this.
Well, same, and I think we're the only one in the building. But I mean, since I moved into this thing, I think I've seen one couple once.
Yeah. Anyway, it's nice.
So it's 9:00 at night, and it's like
It's really light out.
Yeah,
It's like 4 in the afternoon is what it seems like. I don't know. It stays light here. Anyway, so that's a little update on just to give you a scene of what's going on. We've also been dealing with insurance, which has not been fun. It's been a roller coaster, and we will definitely go into detail on a whole insurance podcast, because that needs its whole like separate narrative. But suffices to say, we are 1 week to go ish for handover, and we were denied again for I don't know. Anyway, we don't need to go into detail.
They discriminate.
They discriminate against U.S. residents, apparently. Anyway, so we're back to square one tomorrow. So let's talk about the exciting stuff, since that's kind of the bummer. So yesterday, North Sails showed up on our boat, and we went down to the dock and we watched them install the sails, which was super fun.
Lots of work.
Yeah, it was a ton.
I mean, not for us. We were just watching.
No, we were just
observing.
watching.
But it really makes you appreciate, the work. I mean, first there was a lot of work from the time we chose and ordered and everything, and then Hugues had to drive all the way from Brittany. Fabien drove from Cannes, and then
these are the North Sails guys.
Yeah, and then it's seeing them work. It's like, oh man, they're working, like they know exactly what they're doing. They're moving fast, but it's a lot of work.
I mean, it took, what do you think, like a day and a half of work hours? Because they worked late last night.
Yeah, so they kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then also they want to raise the sails at the dock. So when the wind is like the right angle or not too strong, they're like, okay, this is the right
Raise
time.
it,
And
yeah.
raise it and flake it, like, or furl it, whatever. So, and then of course we have the reefing hook, so it adds a little bit of complexity, a little bit more work. But yeah, those guys,
And they were in the sun. I mean, it was.
I was exhausted just
watching them taking drone shots.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. So we were hoping, and we took some cool
We'll
videos,
see.
shots, and
Yeah.
we'll try to make that. That's the goal. Yeah, we were not watching just to watch, but we wanted to do a follow-up video to kind of, we get the chance to do this, and not everybody can do it. So we want to kind of show the background
process,
scenes, of this whole installation process, and then
Yeah.
today.
So,
Well, first,
oh,
because
what?
once they unpacked, like we were like, oh, is it the right green?
oh yeah,
And then so we were like, oh, because you pick a color.
you don't know.
We realized
You're like
this.
Pantone or what RGB, like what color code is it, and you don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it going to be like Christmas green? I don't really want that.
And then you see a little something of it, a little glimpse of it, and we're this is it.
Yeah.
We got it right. They got it right. This is really badass. And everybody that comes around the dock, they're like, oh, those are like beautiful. Like they love the logo. So far, maybe everybody's trying to be nice.
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know. Like it feels weird to gush over your own sales because but
we
like,
can.
Oh my gosh. So then we were able to get on the boat and actually do the test sails. So they took the boat out earlier today, the team, and they motored around. They had to check the engines and some propellers
engine
and some
testing,
other things. Yeah.
Yep.
And so then, so we saw AWEN kind of chugging into the marina, pick us up. And Mark, of course, who works at Outremer, he's a former racer, so he's not shy about rolling straight into the dock, not hitting it, of course. He's perfect with how he does things, but
Calm.
he was coming in fast, and he's just so calm and so perfect about how he brings the boat in. So that was the first time we actually even saw the boat not attached to a dock. So that was cool. And then we get on the boat, and of course it's still a mess because they're still commissioning it. They're still working, so we did take a bunch of photos and videos, but the inside is still kind of,
And we understand that.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
It's work in progress, and it's the normal
it's
state
like
of
it's
affairs.
like you're remodeling your home, and you walk in to mid construction. It's sort of, but they're quite far along. They're done. It's just there's stuff everywhere. So then we took it out and we went out to the marina. So what was your first impression when?
You make it sound like we did.
Oh no, it wasn't us. No, we didn't touch anything. We were observers and picture
Spectators.
takers.
Yeah, we stayed out of the
It's
way.
the first time I think I've ever been on a boat not trying to get the fenders in, and it was it felt kind of weird.
You were like, don't touch anything,
Yeah.
stay away.
Yeah, because it's not our boat yet.
No,
so.
and we want to be respectful because they have a work to do, and so we want to be out of the way.
Yeah.
And we were there just to kind of capture some
Yeah.
of these moments.
So what was your impression when the main went up?
Oh, I mean,
Because that was the first sail to go up.
yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
It's black.
It's very black sails. Yeah.
And it's just piece of art. I mean, really, it's the craftsmanship. I mean, it's really nice to see. I mean, we saw some of those sails, 3D sails, in the loft in Minden, but when you see it outside
With wind in it,
yeah, with wind, and not just on these big tables, but it just it looks with the carbon mass black and those green stripes. I mean, I cannot it just it's beautiful. And then you touched it, and you touch it, and it's just, I don't know. There's something you have to come close to it and see it, and then when you you're like looking up and you see the shape. It's just a beautiful
The shape is beautiful. And I mean, I guess in our other boat, I didn't pay too much attention to the sails too much. And I mean, we took a lot of pictures of them, it seems like, but I was never struck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like, so then we unfurled the Genoa. And then it was interesting because Fabien, so one of the North Sales guys, like, I see him like getting on the trampoline on his knees and looking up and taking some pictures. And he says, come here, like, just look from here. And he's like, that's 3DI.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the
curve.
shape.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. So that was cool when he told me to do that.
And it's funny to see those guys like all grab their cameras and take pictures, and they see sails all the time, you know, like, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we had the riggers on as well from Outremer, a couple guys who were...
Oh, from the design office.
From the design office, yeah. And they were...
Yeah, because we have, for the Genoa, we have the 3D... I don't even know what you call it, for the trimming the sails in 3D. I forget the word. So
yeah.
So,
but they're like little hard loops, O-rings. They look like. I don't know what you call them. It's leaving my brain right now. We're tired.
I've been speaking lots of French. And now
what's a French word you know?
No,
you're put on the spot.
I'm thinking for the English word, but friction ring, but no friction ring or
something like that.
Yeah. Non-friction ring.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a ring.
Yeah. The line goes through, and so anyway, you can really fine tune the trimming because instead of having just you have basically you can trim the Genoa sheet in a 3 dimension. So it makes it a little bit more complex, but a little bit more fun, and you can really fine tune this, and so that's So they're trying different setups. And so they were kind of also looking at this and testing this, and so it's nice to have the people from the design office, the sales makers, and when we get to see like how they work and how they approach these and the conversations they have, and
we get a lot of information.
Yeah.
And
so then we go into so I mentioned the reefing hooks, and maybe not many people are familiar, and they were kind of looking at this, and so we didn't have too much video as the hook
was hooking in.
hooking and unhooking.
Yeah, but if anybody's seen a, what do you call those? The hooks that pull your main up. Like if anybody, because on
the Carver hook. That's a brand, but
it sort of operates. Yeah. It looks the same way. So if you picture that, yeah.
I don't know if that many people have seen also Carver
I don't
hooks,
know.
But anyway, we'll make definitely a video showing that. But they were all around it and looking at this. So basically, went through the first reef.
Well, so explain the hook system, the hook reefing system.
I mean, if you explain by words, I don't know if nobody is going to follow, but. Basically, you have a line. I don't know if we start explaining, but basically you have a line you pull on that helps a hook to hook at the back of the sail. So instead of being under tension with a line, usually for your reefing line, then this hook is attached to the boom. So it removes all that.
So basically, the normal reefing lines that you keep tight and you jam down, those aren't tight because the reef is attached at the hook at the back of the boom, and tightens the line down. So it
I don't know. We'll have to make a video of this.
I know it's hard to describe, but the benefits are there's no the squeaking that comes when you have a reef in.
Yeah. Well, that's one benefit.
That's a benefit for me. Yeah,
that swayed you
doesn't
over.
Make me crazy.
Yeah.
But I was a little concerned because when you were talking about maybe doing it that way, I was concerned that it was going to just be one more complication. Getting right, but it seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah, first reef, second reef, hooking and unhooking went well. The third reef, and it was a little bit more complicated, but I think they have a good workaround, good solution, and I think that, and maybe I was thinking afterwards, that same solution could be adopted to briefing 1 and 2. As so anyway, so this is kind of the reason of this type of testing that is being done, is making sure everything works, making sure the position of these reefing hooks is proper, and then it's all about tweaking after that.
Yeah.
So,
but I will say, they definitely did a good job yesterday when they were trying to put all the sails on, because there were, we found a couple things during the sail, but all in all, everything looked really well.
Yeah. No, everything was great.
So you want to talk about the Code 65?
Yeah.
Also known as the A2.
No. That's the asymmetrical spinnaker.
Shoot. Yeah, I get it screwed up. I always get it confused. So it's the Code 65.
Code 65.
Code 65, yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, it's big. Really big.
So explain the Code 65. It's sort of like a Code 0, but it's for more downwind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we're going to be using this. That'll be our downwind sail when there is like more wind. We'll use this. When it's lighter wind, we'll use the A2, the asymmetrical spinnaker. But this Code 65, has quite a wide range, and it's. Talking about just looking at those sails, it's just, and there was the sun in the background, and it's a very solid sail when you touch it and you look at it, but you could see with the sun all the, I don't know how you call these, the threads, the lines, and that was, again, a piece of art. Like you look at it and you're like, wow, this is beautiful.
Yeah, and just thinking back what we saw at the sail loft at North Sails and how they were putting it together was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is black. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. They also call it a Gennaker.
Yeah,
It depends.
Sail manufacturers, different people use
different words.
Yeah. So
this one's also black with the green stripes. So we had the Genoa, we had the mainsail black, we have the Gennaker or the Code 65.
Code 65, let's call it the way.
Code 65, okay. And we have the staysail, which is also black with the green stripes. So we have 4 kind of matching sails. And then, and then we put the asymmetrical up.
Yeah. So this one is white in contrast, but we have chevrons on the left.
Yeah. I was like, what are those lines? Why does it look like that? And then Fabio explained. Fabian, sorry. I think Fab, because he had a T-shirt that said Fab on the back, which was so clever. Anyway, so the chevrons help you just see the
well, it's because you want the luff to be like the proper trim will be like when it's just collapsing, and so if you have this chevron, then you
can definitely see it better.
Yeah, so you see this kind of pointy thing, and then as soon as it starts to collapse, then your eyes can see, So you're looking at this, a little bit of collapse. There is a little more, like, okay, you need to do something, and so it kind of helps you to keep an eye on the sail.
It definitely made a difference. I was surprised. Once he kind of explained it, I was like, oh yeah, that's so much easier to see.
Yeah, because that not triangle, but that kind of like
the shape.
Yeah, goes away, and then you're like, oh, okay, I need to pay attention.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of the spinnaker, the asymmetrical?
Wow, even bigger sail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's for light air, and overall the boat was moving.
Yeah.
And it was, we didn't have any electronics, so it's hard to give exactly, the wind definitely changed. Oh, but when we had the full main...
Just to be clear, there's electronics. They're just not, everything's not just hooked up properly.
Of course,
yet.
So
we were going off of Mark's watch. So he has a watch with a speed.
So...
It's like 9 knots?
We were doing upwind, full main, full Genoa. We were doing 8-9.
Yeah.
In... How much wind? I don't know.
13.
Something.
That's what they were kind of guessing.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You're moving.
Yeah.
You're making some miles.
Yeah.
And it's just yeah, and the boat definitely is alive, and it was very interesting too because there was for the North Sails guys, that was their first time on an Outremer 52. I'm sure they've been on other Outremer. And it's good to hear that they say, wow, the helm is like very surprised, well balanced. He was removing his hands and it's like, oh, this boat is just sails by itself. And yeah, they really like commented that they really enjoy like how the boat feels and stuff like
Now,
this.
you didn't get to sail the boat today
Mark said, "Do you want to helm a little bit?" You know,
for like 5 seconds.
no. Yeah. And after that, they say, "Okay," because we're going to jibe, and I don't want to be in the middle
You
of
don't
it.
want to be responsible.
Yeah, so I say I'll continue taking pictures and film, but no, I got to do that.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, so that was cool. So yeah, we got to try all this. We didn't get to try the stay sail.
Right.
So that'll be another little keep the surprises. So
Yeah.
that'll be.
We were still waiting on the
A cable.
cable. Yeah.
So that'll be later. And did we come to the conclusion about potentially adding one more,
Symmetrical spinnaker. So
which has been a no-no from the beginning, but like the washing machine, we changed our mind. What was another big one where we kind of came around and changed our mind?
well, you changed your mind on the air conditioner, but
Oh, no.
my mind was never changed.
No. You got to change my mind. I never cared so much. I'll change my mind.
did too.
I'll change my mind when it's really, really hot and be like, oh, yeah. That was good.
As if it was your
No,
idea.
but the washing machine was definitely one thing where we're like, no. Well, you were like, no washing machine. Then I was like, well, no 5 kilos if we get a machine. No 3 kilos because it makes no sense. And
then we ended up getting the 3
yeah. So anyway, for the symmetrical spinnaker, it was like, no symmetrical spinnaker. We're going to be sailing angles downwind and cover more distance, but go faster and have fun. But we found new arguments as to why having a symmetrical on board is
it's always safety. Like I think all of the reasons to do something is safety. So in this case, I think how we're rationalizing it to ourselves is if someone gets hurt or if someone's tired or
if you need to do some repair on the boat. So it definitely you basically lower all your sails. So you lower the main. You put the symmetrical spinnaker, which is a smaller size overall. Thicker material, and so very, very strong, and you can people basically cross the Atlantic with it. And what happens is you're basically sailing dead downwind, maybe 10, 20 degrees of dead downwind, but you're sailing with the waves, so the boat is very stable, and you're not going too fast, but you're moving quite well.
You put the autopilot on.
Yeah, and so if you have to do some repairs on the boat, or if somebody is tired or somebody's injured, so that's good setup. But the other big argument is we purchased those very nice sails, and we're going to use them definitely, but in some conditions, it's going to be best to put the symmetrical spinnaker, preserve those sails. The argument.
That sounds like a crazy argument.
No, it's not crazy argument because sometimes you find yourself where the sea state, it's just moving your boat and you need some sails to keep moving, but now you're flogging your sails.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And the boom is so moving back and forth. And so that's not good for the sails and that's not good for the rigging and for the cars and for everything. So in this case, it's good common sense to just put this cheaper sail.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And get out of this whatever weird situation, and then keep going.
Hey, you mentioned the cars, but I think that's a good thing to cover actually. The ball bearings.
Oh yeah. So Fabien was like, good call on the ball bearing cars for the intermediaries. So basically, we have a couple good calls. So I'll mention the first one. So basically, it's a big main, and you're going to get cars with ball bearings in it.
The ball bearings are standard or no? I don't remember because they were on just the tracks. I thought
I
originally.
don't remember. It's a standard. I will say yes, it's standard, but
I can't remember.
So it's standard where the battens are. So there's a lot of load. Those battens are like, there's some tension. So it pushes against the mast, and so these ball bearings helps to raise the main. But in between battens, you also have a car because there's a lot of distance. And so standard is you get a regular car without any ball bearings. And back when we made that decision was a long time ago. For that reason, we wanted to help the main go down, and we thought the trade-off of adding a little bit of height when the cars are all stacked up.
When the main's down.
When the main is down was a good trade-off to help raise the main. And after that, I was like, I don't know. So we paid extra, and I'm like, in my mind, I was like, was it the right decision or not? And then as Fabien they're rigging the sail, and then he's like, good call on that. I'm like, really? And what about the height? It's like, no, it's minimal.
They're going to justify all of our decisions.
No. Like, you can tell.
That's true. Actually, French people don't do that. French people are very honest about their opinions. Yeah. So
and then there was no reason for them. Like they don't sell like ball bearing cars.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the main came down really quickly.
Yeah. So that means we have to take care of that, rinse the ball bearings.
Right.
I mean,
There's a little bit more to do, but I think overall it's going to be.
Yeah, you want things to be as easy as possible on the boat to raise the main, lower the main, and if it starts to be like sticky here and there, that's when you like become lazy and be like second thinking like maybe not. So the other one was Mark. He's like, you guys got the carbon battens. I'm like, yeah, and he's like.
Well, it was
good call.
It seemed like it was in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that much more. But what was really interesting was their perspective on it was like, we make these beautiful sails. We spent all this time designing these sails. We, do the 3D printout of the sails, and then they go up with the regular battens, and it's just kind of, is how he was describing it,
Yeah.
And he's like, with the carbon battens, it keeps this really nice shape to the sail.
And the weight saves a lot of. I don't know the number, but it saves a lot of weight because it's weight that is way up.
Yeah.
So it's So that was another
option.
Yeah. That we picked and happy about because it's good.
The shapes are beautiful. So it's definitely something that I'm not as fussy probably as you are on the sails traditionally, but maybe now I am because when you look at it, like then you see it and it's like strikes you. You're like, oh wow,
and then you want to look at it
because
it's like it's beautiful.
Yeah. So, any observations, just like sailing in general on the boat?
I must say, once we like when we were in the marina and we casted off. I must say, like, oh wow,
we're on our boat.
We're on our boat. We're not yet. Soon to be our boat, and then
what will be our boat?
Yeah, we're on water, and I'm like, oh, we're in the marina. We have the engines on, so it's like. But then after that, I was kind of busy looking at the sails. I didn't really take a moment to reflect. But now it's a good time to do that. But
are you excited?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because. Last week, that was exactly a week ago. That was a major milestone. The boat got into the water.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like every day or...
something big happens, it seems like.
2 days, like something major. So there was the mast going on and then going up.
The boom
and then,
went on and
Yeah, and then this, there was a day in between, but then the sails got installed. And now we do the test sail. And I'm not sure what the next big one. Maybe it's the delivery at the end.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, so I guess what they're doing now is they're doing the quality control and the final electrical, I guess, setup. Yeah, and then they're taking the boat out of the water and they're doing some stuff with the engine or props or I don't know what
Yeah,
they're doing.
so we get 90 engines, so they're trying different props, different sizes, and they do all kind of testing, and so that they have data now today. So from that, they're going to install the different props.
Yeah.
And,
So we'll see, and like we're kind of like at first we were like, okay, we need the boat on this date because that's the date we need the boat. And now with this insurance problem, I'm kind of like, maybe we need some extra time to get that sorted out. It's so frustrating.
I'm really annoyed.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, okay, they give you a quote and everything is good. And then, you finalize the details. They're like, oh, no, like we cannot. And then in the same insurance, like you go to like, oh, we'll send you to this team. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's the same insurance company and they send you around to these different offices.
And so you're like, okay, we're part of this team. Okay, that's fine. And they're like, oh, we follow these rules. But you're the same company. No, we have 3 teams inside the company. And I'm like, oh, it's so confusing. And so we follow these rules for that. And it was like, okay, everything is good. And then we get an email. It's like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, so hopefully we can get the boat because it's kind of stressful.
We're going to save money.
We'll just not get insurance. Yeah,
well, I guess we cannot.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to leave the podcast on a bummer, but that's a little bit of stress we're kind of dealing with. Again,
Yeah.
These are nice problems to have, but
and I think you have to have. It's part of the journey. Like you have. That's the way I look at it. Like you have to have a little sticky part somewhere.
Well, definitely, I think with boating, you have to like have a heart attack at least like once a week. Like it like keeps you humble, right?
Yeah.
Like and that's part of what I like about it is you can't get complacent. You have to always be learning. You have to always be checking. You have to like think of plan B. I mean, in a way, it kind of tickles my neurosis a bit, But I think that's just part of the adventure with sailboats in general. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. It definitely. At least what feels good is this process that we're going through, and knowing the people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everybody that we are in contact with that is involved with our boat from
like we know the riggers, we know
for the design team, for the people building the boat, it's just the sales
like we're
makers.
on first name basis with everybody. It's really cool.
And they're all very, very nice people.
And interesting backgrounds too, right?
Oh, yeah. So it's definitely, I'm just so glad we're on this journey with kind of this process.
Yeah, and some other just quick updates. I got a instant message from somebody, I think it was like a week ago, saying, we've signed up for our ASA sailing classes and we're excited about doing that and, starting that journey just to start learning how to sail, which is so cool because I just love people who sail. It's just so fun to talk about. And, it definitely teaches you what you're made of.
Yeah, we got inspired by people who were sharing their journey.
And as always, if you have any topics you want us to cover, you can reach us at sailingawen@gmail.com.
Yeah, and last week we mentioned we were going to cover like the breakdown of the percentages of where we ended up spending money on the boat, but
we had to share though.
That'll be for a future episode. It's not forgotten.
Yeah. So. Fair winds for now.
Bon vent.